Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I have with me today a really super interesting man that I am so in awe of. Dr. David Armstrong with St. Thomas University. He's president. And you've made some miraculous things happen at St. Thomas since you arrived in 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
I just finished my 7th year and starting my 8th year now, moving forward. But
that's-
I had very big shoes to fill, from Monsignor Casal, who had been there for 25 years.
Of course, I remember him.
Yep, wonderful man and
fondly.
president emeritus, and he's
Yeah.
been wonderful to me in the transition and a great supporter. But we are now approaching our 7th straight year of record enrollment.
Yeah.
We've basically tripled the size of our enrollment. We've quadrupled the size of our students living on campus.
Yeah.
We've added probably 600,000 square foot of new field and building space. We're opening up our new largest building on campus this fall. Actually, this weekend, students will be moving into a 545-bed residence hall.
Yeah, I just
That's
read about
5
that.
stories and an 8-lane bowling alley.
Yeah.
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. You got to have a bowling alley.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially in Cleveland.
That's
there are
right.
times you can't go outside and play.
That's right.
Right. So before we start and get into the nitty gritty, we have to thank South Florida PBS for being our sponsor week after week. They sponsor our show and allow us to bring people like you into exposure to our viewers and learn more about our community. So thank you, South Florida PBS.
And thank you to South Florida
congratulations
PBS.
Congratulations to Jenny Esqui. She just was promoted to Chief of Communications and Education.
Wonderful.
So she's an amazing person, as is their CEO, Dolores. So let's start. You have an incredible background and probably like the perfect person for this job. You have a JD,
Yes.
and so then I just found out you had been a football coach and an athletic director.
Sure.
So all of that ties into how you've been able to increase enrollment like you have. And then we talked about the law school and the Institute for Ethical Leadership.
Yes.
So, Lee, you want to start with that one?
Sure.
Let's start talking about that and how that came about.
Yeah. I had been working in smaller faith-based schools for years, and I was seeing the denigration of liberal arts programs, and business and engineering and science and tech STEM were all growing. And I thought that that's not a good thing. We need to have balance.
Yeah.
And so I thought, what can I create? What kind of program I can create that would save the liberal arts, but also be very marketable to what we need in this world?
Mm-hmm.
And so we need ethical leaders in this
yeah.
world more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically taking, it's basically 5 pillars in the ethical leadership program. Number 1, the first pillar is it's based on philosophy, theology, and ethics.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second part is the liberal arts, English and history, and being able to read, write well, communicate effectively, make ethical decisions with integrity. And then it has a business core. And because if you're going to be an ethical leader, you need to know where the money is. And so having a competency in finance. And then fourth is we go to the industries and we ask them, what are you looking for in your future leaders for your company and your industry?
Mm-hmm.
And then we teach to that. And then lastly, experiential learning is we want students to have some type of leadership experiences before they walk out there. And so not just having the degree and the acumen and the intelligence, but having real world experience as a leader.
And that's something that you mandate, right?
Absolutely.
For your graduating?
For the university, we're one of the
Right.
the only, as far as we know, school in the state of Florida that requires experiential learning, and we put it on our transcript. So a student must have that in order to graduate. So the last 3 years, 100% of our undergraduate students achieved the requirement for experiential learning, which could be anything from an internship to a co-op to a study abroad, service learning, an apprenticeship,
Mm-hmm.
a practicum. And so every student has that at the undergrad, and we also work that into our graduate programs and our law school.
So that makes for, immediately when you hire somebody out of St. Thomas, you know that they've had some experience anyway.
Absolutely.
They're not.
And it's not
green.
just an experience of what they're going to go into. Sometimes the best experiential learning requirement is you find out what you don't want to do.
Well, there you go.
And so, and a lot of our students have multiple experiences on their transcript, not just one. They have
Right.
2 to 3. And so what that means is we're giving the industries out there, we're giving the workforce students who are already have experience before they walk out the door.
Mhm. So, and obviously they've learned responsibility, showing up for the job on time, and all the other stuff that plays into it.
Well, I'm
right?
glad you brought that up, Gloria. I say all the time when I speak publicly, and I say this at orientation in our commencement and convocation and orientations at the law school and at the university, is that we are old school, or as I like to call it, right school.
Mhm.
We teach old school values: hard work, discipline, positive attitude, showing up for work on time, color blindness, overcoming adversity, teamwork. We expect our students to look people in the eye and shake their hand. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. And that is our expectation of our students. And we expect them to dress professionally and really make an impression, a positive impression in the workforce. And a lot of our students are first gen. A
Mhm.
lot of our students are from families that are first immigration, second immigration, and these are what I would call, a blue collar attitude. Is that they're willing to work hard and fight for what they need, and they're not expecting the C-suite office in day one. They want to earn their way,
Right.
and those are the values that we at STU espouse and what we want to see out of our students. And so we try to live that so that our students live that as they graduate.
Oh, and as far as an employer wanting to hire somebody, getting a student that has been trained and has that kind of attitude is incredible
Mhm.
because it is hard to find. I
Yeah.
hear people all the time
All the time.
complaining, and they want to come in, they want to, they want to be paid $100,000 or $50,000 or whatever, and they have no expertise or training.
And to be honest, the young people today have a great advantage. There's less of a population, so there's less competition for positions.
Exactly.
But what's happening is sometimes they're putting the positions that they're not ready for,
Mhm.
and that could lead to disaster. And so what we try to educate them on is, hey, it's okay to earn your way and learn so that you're making the right decisions for your future, and don't just grab the big brass ring immediately, okay, because you may not have earned it. And so
Well, you can lose
learn,
you can
learn.
take it, you can grab
And
it,
you can
and
lose
then
it
lose your
quickly.
job.
That's right.
Yes, you're better
that's
off
what we don't
being
want.
prepared.
And I love traveling the region and hearing from people, hearing from hiring managers and leaders. We love our STU students. They're the hardest workers we have, and that's everything to me. That's the most important
bet.
thing to me, is when people say that.
Yeah. So let's talk about your sports program. How does that play into, the campus life, all of it, the increased enrollment? Do you think that's a part of your overall plan to draw people in?
Yes, I learned from some great mentors. I attended Mercier's College in Erie, Pennsylvania, Dr. Garvey, Andy Roth, just wonderful, Tom Billingsley, wonderful people, wonderful faculty members. As a matter of fact, 2 days ago, my English professor passed away, Barry McAndrew, and that just crushed
Sorry.
me. Gave me a great love of British literature, and just had excellent faculty. And it was a smaller university that, to be honest, we didn't know at the time was going to close a couple years before we
Yeah.
entered. But that's another great lesson, is we didn't know that.
Right.
And they made it seem like it was the best place in the world, and it was for us. And so, but one of the things that they did is they used athletics as an enrollment driver. And so going into my expertise is going into financially failing institutions, and it's very important to understand it may be financially failing. It doesn't mean that great things aren't happening there and great people are there.
Exactly.
Okay. But somewhere along the line, the finances, either turned around or people were keeping the eye on it or whatever it was. And so what we do is we go into those schools and turn them around so that they not only survive but thrive. And one of the ways we do that is using athletics as an enrollment driver, because students may not want to go into a new academic program because it's not established, but they sure as heck want to go into a new sports team because they think they can play.
Exactly.
And so using that has been very conducive to turning around the financial fortunes of institutions. And so St. Thomas University, we had 14 sports. We're the NAI scholarship, athletic
Yeah.
scholarships. We now have 34.
Wow. Wow.
And most of the schools that we go into, we increase the sports offerings, but also increase the size of the rosters, which increases competition, which allows you to get better. And every school that we've entered had no national championships, and every school that we've left has had multiple national championships. And the same at STU. We had no national championships as a team. Our men's swimming and diving team won the national championship a year ago. Our dance teams have won 2 national championships now, and our rugby team, our new rugby team, in 3 years has won 3 state titles and 2 national championships.
Wow. That's amazing.
But athletics is like the front porch of any university. You've heard that probably many
Well,
times.
no, it's just because it gets
It's
obvious press.
It gets obvious press,
and people want to read about sports.
and they love sports, and it's exciting. And I always say it's transformational and it transcends our daily lives. And so, but people can really establish great habits. People ask me all the time, where did you get the skill sets to be a president? To be honest, on the football field.
I was going to say.
Hard work, discipline, positive attitude, teamwork, all those kind of things, overcoming adversity. And so use those skill sets every day.
Right. And that's the wonderful thing about team sports is that you learn so much more than you'd ever learn in the classroom. You don't learn how to be a team player.
And a big part of it is learning how to fail correctly. Okay. See, because only one team wins the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
31 other teams don't win the Super Bowl. So what do? Do you just roll up in a ball and go away? No, you have to come back and work harder and be better the next time. And so I love hiring student athletes because they've set goals before, they've reached those goals. They've also not reached those goals, but then had to decide how to improve themselves so they could reach their goals.
So it made them hungry.
learning how to fail is very important. A very important trait that we don't teach as much. We always talk about being the champion and winning, but you need to learn how to fail correctly and fail forward, as John Maxwell would say.
I like failing forward. That's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
But fear of failure can stop you.
Absolutely.
That's another one.
And that happens a lot, especially with social media and everybody again, only talking about winning. And no, it's okay to fail. You learn the most when you fail.
Exactly.
Those are the best lessons.
Well, that's what I love about being a volunteer is that, because I do a lot of volunteer work, but when you're a volunteer, and when I was young, I would take on things, but the great thing was you can fail. They're not going to fire you. So you can take chances and you can do stuff that maybe you wouldn't.
Yeah, and I fear that our younger generation doesn't take as many chances because they want to be perfect. We demand so much of them, and they want to be perfect. And no, that's, I always say that the best definition of leadership I've ever heard came from a football coach, Lou Holtz.
Of course.
But in reality, I'm sure he took it from other people, and it's 5 things. Number 1, a leader must have vision. Number 2, a leader must have a plan to implement the vision. Number 3, a leader must lead by example. Number 4, a leader must find people with the shared vision. And the most important one, and the one that's made me successful as a turnaround person, is number 5, is a leader must hold people accountable to the plan. And that's the one that really people struggle with in this modern day.
I bet.
No one wants to hold anybody accountable. They think that they're mean. They think that no, you have to hold people accountable to the plan. But in the end, after I ended up becoming a general counsel at one of the colleges I was working at because something happened and the president asked me to kind of handle this situation. Well, ended up turning into 2 Department of Education investigations, 2 criminal trials, 2 civil trials, and an NLRB action when I had to let go of my security team. And I became like the most well-known higher ed law and policy person in the country at the time, again, just by accident. And so when I started, I was at these conferences for general counsels for colleges and universities, and I was hosting breakfasts at this conference. And we went around the room and we said, how did you become a general counsel? Well, no one at 5 years old says, well, I want to be a general counsel of a higher educational institution in the most disruptive time in higher education. So everybody had a story where basically they said yes in a time of crisis. And I look back at my career and I said yes to things that I had no experience in, no past ability, but they needed someone to go in and fix something. And so I think in the end, leadership definition comes down to one word. Yes.
Isn't that the truth?
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Yeah. And sometimes you just, blind, sometimes you take it on because you have no clue what you're
Oh yeah,
getting
blind
into.
ignorance is
Just-
sometimes a great trait.
I've done a lot of jobs like that.
Yeah.
People talk you into it and I go, I guess I can do it. They think I can. I'll try it.
To me, the four most powerful words in the English language are can and can't, and yes and no.
Right. There you go.
And so, who are you going to be? Are you going to be a can't and no person, or are you going to be a yes and can
You are
person?
such a coach.
It comes
I
out.
love it.
Yeah, it comes out.
I love it. Your student body must love you.
We have a lot of fun. I'm
That
with
was
them
kind
a
of
lot.
obvious on the different things that I've seen as I started playing around, seeing.
I was
what's up at St.
just
Thomas.
asked to write there's a blog, a president to president blog that they do. That's a national blog, and they asked me. I think it's coming out in October, to write about my experience with students. They were looking for presidents that are really engaged with the student experience, and part of what I said in the thing is I don't understand presidents who don't want to be near their students. This is why we do what we do, and they energize me. And so that's my favorite time. Like at the end of the school year, which is very busy, and people say, "Oh, thank God the students have left." I go into depression.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
Yeah.
To me, that's why we're here. That's the vibrancy and the fun. And so right now, our students are coming back this weekend. I'm jacked up. I'm
You're
ready
right.
to go. This is fun.
Yeah, ready to go. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got football coming up, and
Yep.
so who
Lot
are
of
you
great
playing
things.
this year?
Oh, we have probably one of the toughest schedules in the NAI. We
Do you
have
really?
like four or five nationally ranked teams that we play out of
geez.
11 games. And Georgetown, who beat us in the playoffs last game of the year at our place, is coming back to our place, Georgetown, Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, we have Kaiser. Kaiser won the national championship, was in the national championship game.
This is Kaiser
for the
that's here?
Kaiser in West Palm
Oh,
Beach.
wow.
They have a wonderful program. We go to Lindsey Wilson this year in Kentucky. We do a lot of traveling. We've been to Montana. We've been to Texas. We've been to Chicago a couple times against nationally ranked St. Xavier. And so we play Coach Reichel, Bill Reichel, who's also our athletic director, our AVP of athletics. The coaching staff, they do a wonderful job. And so we're very excited about this year. This will be our 7th season. We started football. Our first season was 2019.
I remember.
Yep. And,
Right before COVID.
Right before COVID.
And what
and the
happened during-
hurricane. That was Dorian.
Oh, that's
Our first game
right.
almost got canceled because of Dorian.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh
thank
my
God it didn't
gosh.
hit the ground with us.
Yeah, that was a bad one. Yeah. So, so since 2019, not bad.
And not bad.
But I
we've been in
remember
the,
when it started.
Yeah, we've been
And
in the
I was so
national.
excited for you because
Oh,
I love
thank you.
football.
Yeah, we were last 2 years. We've been nationally ranked for the last 3 years,
Uh-huh.
and as high as number 4 in the nation. And we've been in the playoffs the last 2 years.
Yeah. Well, you can't beat that.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Or-
fun.
Little university with only how many thousand students do you have now?
So we now have, we'll be over 2,000 full-time undergrad, maybe even close to 23 or 2,400 full-time undergrad, and full-time at the law school. Last year we had 2,000 full-time undergrad and 866 full-time at the law school. This year we'll probably be over 1,000 at the law school and over, well over 2,000 for the undergrad. And
But-
we had, when I first got there, we had 250 students living in 300 beds and 2 shuttered dorms. We now have we're going to have over 1,500 students living on campus this year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow. What
It makes for a lot of fun and vibrancy on campus and excitement.
Oh yeah. No, to have a nice campus life is
Hmm.
not only a good draw, but it's just good for everything.
And you can't beat it in Florida. I mean, I still can't believe that I go to work every day and see palm trees.
I
So
know.
it's kinda
I
nice.
bet.
Being from Cleveland,
after,
Ohio.
After coming from Cleveland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love
oh
it.
my gosh.
Love it down here.
So were you born in Cleveland?
Born and raised, yes.
Okay. And you raised how when did you move away?
Well, most of my family's still back there.
Oh, are
Very
they?
few of us moved away. My father and mother met at high school. And
No
They
way.
were the oldest in their families. My dad was the oldest of 4. My mom was the oldest of 7. And and that's
Nice Catholic family.
yeah, Irish Catholic, German,
Jeez.
Croatian family, and just a lot of craziness. But all our values come from that. When people ask me who and how are you the way you are, it's really 2 things. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Work hard and be nice. and I come from a big Irish,
Catholic.
German, Croatian Catholic family that made me the tough person I am today. And what our parents taught us, and they never had the chance to go to college, so I'm a first generation college
Right.
student myself, is they taught us that education is the great equalizer.
Absolutely.
And so everything I do is to give as many students as possible the transformative experience I had at college, and to give them the opportunity to achieve all their dreams. And again, it just makes such a difference in someone's life and for generations to come. And no matter what the politicians say, no matter what the media says, all the statistics still show that the greatest thing you can do in your life to have a quality life is to earn a bachelor's degree.
Oh, absolutely.
And no matter how much people say, there's not a return on investment, and there's the Starbucks employee that owes $200,000 on a school loan, which no one's ever given me the name of that person or the location of that person.
Oh, yeah, really?
Because the average loan of any student that graduates in the country is around $19,000 at a state school and about $22,000 at a private school. And
Unless you're going to medical school.
Unless you're going to medical school or graduate school, then it can get
Yeah.
up and get higher. But then your potential for earnings are through the roof, right? And so we're just not getting, the media is just not giving the truth. And people talk about the high cost of education. You can look at the sticker price, but you got to look at the financial aid. Okay, it's the net. It's your gross cost that you have to pay, not the sticker price.
Exactly.
We, on average, give students 50% tuition discount through scholarships.
Mhm.
And so there's just a lot of misinformation out there. But again, in the end, all the statistics point to the fact that a bachelor degree puts you on a better life. And then if you earn more degrees as you go, even exponential
Of
growth.
course. Yeah, no, because some people don't even want to interview you unless you have one.
That's right.
So, and it's not that.
And there's great trades and things. You don't have to have a college degree. The great irony is, and I'm going to upset both political parties here, the Democrats want everyone to go to college. And that's not right. Not everyone should be in
Not
college.
everybody. Yeah, you're right.
Okay?
I'm all for vocational schools too.
Absolutely. We got to support that and support workforce development and students that want to get into the trades.
And make sure that they get good ones.
Right.
Because there's some that are just like factories that give out certificates.
Right. And then on the Republican side, everybody wants your kids to be plumbers, but except for their kids.
Except for their kids.
And that's wrong too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And so again, like I always say in life, balance is important. There needs to be a balance.
Right.
And so, but again, all the statistics, all the evidence, all the studies show that if you want to live a great life and achieve your dreams, start out with a college degree and then move on. Exactly.
Well, having a college degree also shows that you can finish something.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to start So I always get a kick out of. I remember I went to the University of Florida, and I remember Emmett Smith.
Yes.
He promised his mom he would quit. He would finish school, and he went on to an NFL career. But he finished school.
Yes. And speaking of Emmett Smith, so at one point in time, he was the leading rusher in all of Florida collegiate rushing. This year, Tay Farmer. Was our running back 4 years. He broke the collegiate rushing record.
No way.
Florida. Yes.
So he beat.
So Frank Gore, Emmett Smith, all those guys.
Wow.
And so he right
now
he
must
is
have been exciting to watch.
Oh yeah, he was a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness.
But here's the thing: a much better young man. And he's got a couple tryouts with some NFL teams. Our first guy to get some tryouts with NFL teams. Hopefully he'll catch on at some point. But again, just a hard worker, very intelligent, great grades, and just a hard worker. And we had him and his brother were on our team. And their father passed away their first year, their freshman year.
Oh, you're kidding.
And they dedicated their careers to their father, and just so very proud of that young man.
Oh, man, that's heartbreaker. So on a lighter note, so what else is going on? Let's talk about other departments that are doing well. You've got liberal arts.
Sure. So, we're a faith-based, values-based liberal arts institution. And So we have almost 50 majors in the undergrad. We have over 20 some programs in our masters, and we have 7 doctoral degrees.
Mhm.
And so there's all kinds of opportunities to advance yourself at St. Thomas
Yeah.
University. Our biggest school is the College of Business.
Yeah.
And in that program, our sports administration program, which was the first of its kind in the country in 1972.
Really?
And Coach Shula was one of those people that helped found that
Oh, right.
when the Dolphins were practicing at Biscayne College and
Yeah.
then STU. And that is thriving. That program is thriving. But our fastest growing program is nursing. So we've gone from a
Such a
school of
need.
nursing to a college of nursing. So
Uh-huh.
Monsignor Casal and Irma Becerra, who was the provost at the time, did a great job of starting nursing. 2017, we had 13 nurses. Now we have over 1,800 nurses, and we're growing.
What?
And we want to triple that because of
Wow.
the needs that Florida
It's
has.
huge.
And so that's one of the buildings. We're at capacity with all our growth right now, and we really have to build some buildings. So anybody who has some extra cash lying around and wants to put their name on a building, they need to call me.
There you go.
But
Okay.
the first
Okay,
building,
people out there.
yes, the first building we need to build is our another science building. We've outgrown our science building. And it will be focusing on nursing and allied health sciences, exercise science, athletic training, the needs that are in the medical community and the health community. And so we need to build that building literally yesterday. And
Yeah.
so that program is now, the School of Nursing has become a college of nursing.
Right.
And we got a great leader in the dean, Dr. Nash, and that's short for his Indian name, which is very tough to pronounce. And so,
I love how we do that.
yes, and
We
so,
just
and then one of the other programs that has grown is the Ethical Leadership Studies program, especially at the
Yeah.
doctoral level. And
Mhm.
so, and that's really helped us, look at artificial intelligence and what's happening in that area.
So when do you expect to get your doctorate in that?
I'm done with all my work. I just got to finish my dissertation. My dissertation will hopefully lead into a book, and you
Oh,
can
really?
actually see my podcast on our website.
Well, okay.
The top 20 things I know walking into a financially failing institution and how to fix them.
Oh, that sounds like a
And so it's a
great
little bit,
book.
it's a little hands-on, straightforward talk, and so just have to finish that up.
Oh, when you do that book, you have to come back and we have to talk about the book.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. How are we doing on time? I'm just making sure. Oh, 3 minutes left. Okay. So what have we forgotten to mention?
Well, I know that you wanted to talk about artificial intelligence and
Oh, yeah, of course.
so we at STU, as of now, don't have the technology and the science programs and the research programs to be a part of the AI revolution as far as the nitty-gritty of it, right? The physical part of
Right.
it. But I told my team we need to be leaders in artificial intelligence. And so how can we do that? Well, we are a Catholic institution, a values-based institution. We have ethical leadership studies. We have a college of law. We have a school of education. We have criminal justice. We have data analytics and cybersecurity. And so what we have created is we have created what we call AREN, Artificial Intelligence Research Ethical Network.
Ooh.
And so we're trying to we want to be the
Clearinghouse?
depository
Right? Oh,
of to receive and collect all research done on the ethical use of AI.
Ooh.
Because the most important thing is, and we just came up with 7 guidelines, the internet came and we didn't really talk about the impact it was going to have.
Nobody knew.
And we see school shootings are up. We see suicide is up of young people. And that's because we really didn't look at what's going to happen with social media.
Mm.
We cannot make that mistake again.
Exactly.
And so we need to have ethical guidelines, guiding principles, or what I call guardrails, policies and procedures in the ethical use of AI. And so STU is a leader in this area, and we have published our 7 guidelines. We haven't found anyone else that's done that yet.
Wow.
And so now we're going to be collecting all the data and all the research on the ethical use of AI, because if we do not have those discussions, if we do not do that research now, it's going to be too fast for us to, once all the horses are out of the barn, just like with the internet, we can't
Yeah.
bring them back in.
Right.
And
Yes.
so it's crucial that we
Mm.
have these hard discussions and make some decisions. For example, one of those 7 is that there should be a human check on anything that we do with AI. You know, it's funny. I was
For
watching the
sure.
news today, and they were interviewing this new company that's putting AI in restaurants. So when you pull up to the drive-through, it's AI. It's not an employee. And it was interesting what they said. They said, an AI is wonderful and it can answer all the questions and it's great. And it frees up humans to do other things.
Like what?
Like what? How many people make their living or get their foot into the door as an entrepreneur or business by working at restaurants, right? McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, and then moving on to something better, right? But how many people start out? Well, if the humans aren't doing that, then what are they doing? And so I don't think that we're having enough questions and
I,
discussions on this.
you know, it's interesting. A lot of times you talk about a sales experience, and a sales experience with a computer is not the same as with a human.
Mm-hmm.
And having a nice interaction, it's like when, I don't know, I think CVS must have discovered, because every time I walk into CVS, somebody says, "Hi, how you doing? Thanks for coming today."
That's right.
You know, it's like, oh, well, that was
Human
nice of
interaction.
them. Made me feel good.
But then they make me check out the stuff myself, and that's wrong. They should pay me for that.
Oh no! If you go to the cosmetic department, they actually say, "There's someone. Someone
they'll
will
take
come
you?
to
Okay,
you." No,
good.
they know that you're there, and they say, "Oh, if you need help with the cosmetics department, we can send somebody," or they say something like that.
Yeah.
But I go, "How do they know I'm here?" It's funny. Yeah. So our time is up, but I thank you so much for coming. We need to talk more about artificial intelligence. You know, Michael is
Absolutely.
taking a course at FIU, a 3-hour course for, I don't know, 6 weeks or so.
Oh, wonderful.
So
Yeah, all of us are going to have to be in tune and educated in the use of AI.
and you can have that on your phone now.
Absolutely.
I go, I'm
It's
not
everywhere.
going to allow them to have my.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And so, you know, having technical literacy, having big data literacy, being able to disseminate big data, but then you have to have human literacy, which is the liberal arts.
Absolutely.
Okay, being able to think critically, think analytically, communicate effectively, make ethical decisions with integrity, and still the only way to do that is to understand, to be educated well in the liberal arts.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can have AI look stuff up for you and present stuff for you, but not in conversation. You better be literate in conversation
That's right.
too. Yeah.
One of the things that we've been using recently, especially with all the things that are happening on college campuses, is we don't tell students what to think. We teach you how to think.
How to think. Exactly. Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Gloria, for
It's
having me.
such a pleasure.
It's
And
always
I
great to be here.
hope you come back again, you know.
Anytime.
And don't take another 5 years or 7 years to come back. So until next time, thanks for joining us today. Thank you again, South Florida PBS, for sponsoring the show. And until next time, be safe.
God bless and go Bobcats.
There you go. Go Bobcats. Thanks for coming today.